The richest 1% owns 50% of the world's wealth. Although everyone has the same 24 hours each day, and we work as hard as the rich, or maybe even harder, whatever we do, we stay where we are and the rich keep getting richer. There should definitely be some secret that only the rich know that we are not aware of. Or that's what I thought. I was convinced that if I want to get in that 1%, I should find out that secret. I was born into and brought up in a middle class family. And as a kid, I always thought if I studied well, got good grades, and then a good job, then at some point in my life, I would be rich. But boy, I was wrong. I still consider myself a fairly successful person. I have a job that earns me a decent salary, I have zero debt, and I have considerable amount of money invested in different assets. But I am nowhere near calling myself rich. And by rich, I don't mean owning a big house or driving a Ferrari kind of rich. Rich in the sense, I want to earn enough to buy back time. I will explain. There are many things in life that I don't enjoy doing, but still have to do to survive. Working 40 hours a week, cooking, cleaning, etc. And then there are things that I want to do more, such as spending time with my friends and traveling around the world. But unfortunately, that doesn't earn me any money. So I want to have that financial backing so that I can spend a major share of my time doing things that I really enjoy doing and not have to worry about running out of money. And for that, I wanted to know the secret of the rich. So I started my research on the millionaires and billionaires of the world. I read more than 100 books on personal finance and watched thousands of videos from personal finance gurus. And finally, I understood one thing. There is no secret. But instead, there is a step-by-step blueprint that the rich follow, that they pass on to their kids and so on. Since financial education in schools is a joke, majority of us don't learn about this blueprint. And that's exactly what I intend to share in this video. No complicated financial advice, no confusing technical stuff, just 8 simple lifestyle changes that we can make to save money and build wealth. So let's get started. First things first, take a piece of paper and a pen and write down your money goals. Because truth be told, spending money is not as fun as saving money. It's so easy to go off the path. So it's important to have a clear goal to help us stay motivated. It could be saving for a down payment on your apartment or saving for your retirement. My goal is to earn enough money through multiple streams of income so that I can reduce my dependency on my 9-to-5 job and retire partially in the next 5 years. Whatever your goal is, write in a clear, actionable way. I want to be rich or I want to make $1 million won't help here. Always think about the why. Why are we doing this? Why do we want to make $1 million? That why is our goal, and that goal will motivate us to keep going when the going gets tough. But then goals are good for setting a direction, but we need systems to make progress. And the best place to start is to create a system to understand where we are right now. Before we talk about tracking our expenses, we need to understand an important equation that influences our personal finances. And that's the equation of cash flow. Cash flow equals amount of money coming in or our income minus the amount of money going out or our expenses. And our target should always be to have a net positive cash flow. Because if we have a negative cash flow, that means we are spending more than we can afford, and we all know how that will end. Now, to make it clear, all spending is not bad. We need expenses. It's only bad when it's reckless spending. And the whole world is designed in a way to promote this. Online shopping and same-day deliveries have taken away all the difficulties associated with shopping and have made it more easy and fun. In a world of Prime Day and Black Friday deals, it's easy to get carried away and misunderstand our wants as needs. It's easy to lose track of our spending when we just go on swiping our credit cards left and right. Spending our money wisely is the most important step that we can take to put ourselves in the best possible financial situation. And the best way to do that is by tracking our income and expenses. We need to know what's coming in, what's going out, where is it going, what's left. But then most people, when they start tracking their expenses, they go to the extremes, making note of each and every penny spent. It's not sustainable and it's not required. Do you think Jeff Bezos is making note of that extra 50 cents he spent on that ketchup packet? No. So just keep it simple. For example, if you grab a burger, then just write food and round it off. The more complicated we make it, the more difficult it gets to keep doing it. Just having an overview of where our money is going is good enough for most of us. I'm not saying tracking our expenses in detail is a bad thing, but when we start with something like this, the core idea should be to create a system where doing this is as easy as possible. But just knowing how we spend money won't make us conscious consumers. For that, we need to set a budget. And a simple way to do that is by using the 50-30-20 rule. This is a simple budgeting rule that we can use to make optimum use of our money. Every time we get paid, allocate 50% of the income to the needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings. Needs are things like rent and groceries. Wants are those nice to haves that makes our lives better, but are not necessary for survival. For example, going to the movies or eating out. And the remaining 20% should go to savings. And on the topic of savings, our first and foremost priority with that 20% should be to set up an emergency fund. But why do we even need an emergency fund? In polite terms, shit happens. So it's very important to prepare ourselves for what life throws at us. But still, according to a recent poll, 53% of Americans won't be able to get through an emergency without borrowing money. This has to change. An emergency could strike at any time in any form. It could be medical bills, house repairs, or a sudden job loss. So if we have some money stored up, we don't have to rely upon high interest loans or credit cards to help us get through such difficult situations. It's always a good idea to save 3 to 6 months of our living expenses for an emergency, and just make sure that the money is always available whenever we need it. Once we have saved up 6 months of our expenses in an emergency fund, the next important thing to tackle is our debt, if we have any. But let me make it clear that not all debts are bad. There are good debts and there are bad debts. Good debts are the ones that help us to generate an income and build our net worth, such as the loans on our education, our business, or real estate. For example, if we purchase a 200k rental property on credit, rent it out for 2k, pay 1k to the bank, and pay $600 for expenses, we will still be left with $400 in profits. But then we have to get rid of those bad ones that drain us out. So stay away from all kinds of credit card debts, personal loans, car payments, and any kind of payment plan for consumer goods. Identify such bad debts, especially the high interest ones like credit cards, and do everything possible to get rid of them. And here we have two options, the avalanche method and the snowball method. In the avalanche method, we pay off the debt with the higher interest rate first and then move on to the next one. This saves you the most amount of money. And in the snowball method, you pay off the smallest debt first and climb up the ladder. Here, we may end up paying more in the form of interest. But then we get a nice psychological boost as we feel more confident when we see the number of debts getting reduced at a faster pace. Again, the method is not important. Just go with the one that works for you. Now, we have talked about all the ways in which we can manage money. But the rich stays rich not just because they manage the money well. There is a limit on how much wealth we can build just by saving our money. We will hit a wall unless we increase our income. And the best way to do that is by investing our money. There are many investment opportunities out there: stock market, crypto, real estate, etc. I'm not going into details because I've already made a lot of videos on my channel about this. But I made the mistake of not actively investing my money as soon as I started earning. I thought it was complicated and not for everyone. I couldn't have been more wrong. So invest and invest more. And for a beginner investor, the best way to start is with index funds. Funds diversify investments across different fields and sectors so that the overall risk is reduced. If you ask me for one investment to start with, I would say go for the S&P 500 ETF. This divides and invests your money into the top 500 companies in the US, and it gives you an 8% average return with very low risk. But that being said, I don't personally see investing as a way to build wealth. For me, it's more of a means to protect my money from inflation in the long term. But if our intention is to build wealth, then we should invest in the best asset we have. The best investment is the investment that we make in ourselves. This will give us a higher return than any other investments that we can make. So educate yourself by reading books, watching videos, attending courses, and then build skills that you can later monetize. You could have spent the last 10 minutes aimlessly scrolling through Instagram. But the simple fact that you decided to educate yourself by watching this video shows that you're serious about this. So give yourself a pat on the back. When I started with this channel, I had zero experience with content creation. Everything I learned by watching videos online. Now this channel is making money even when I sleep. And that brings us to the most important habit of the rich. If you think you are not earning enough in your current job, then most probably you are right. If you want to get paid for what you deserve, then you need to be your own boss. 65% of self-made millionaires have more than 3 sources of income. I'm not saying you should go and do that night shift in McDonald's after your 9 to 5 job to earn that extra bucks. No. All it really requires is putting aside a couple of hours every day from our social media or TV time to start a side hustle or develop skills that you can later monetize. The more income you earn, the more opportunities you have to multiply your money. That's how the rich keep getting richer. And if you want to get to the 1%, then you need to manage and make money like the rich. That means following the wealthy blueprint. I hope you got some value from this video. I would appreciate it if you could give this video a like, and if you want to see more similar content, then do subscribe to the channel. Until I see you with another video, have a wonderful rest of the day and adios.